James, how do you use the Elven Star?
Well, there's lots of different ways of using it, but I'm talking about this new method that has come to me. Not so much a new method, but a different way of using what's already been established, relating to the pathworkings as well. So, um, for example, the it is understood that the path of power links the first point to the fourth point in your Elven Star. That's defining the path of power. And its mystery is transforming strength into power. Okay. Now, if we apply this to the sun, you've got two Sabian symbols. In my case, the mermaid is my fourth point of the Elven Star of my sun, and the old man attempting vainly to reveal the mysteries is the first point. So as I go backwards and forwards between those two, I'm experiencing the path of power. And if I can do that with adroitness, if I can do that easily, then I become more powerful. Now, applied to my son, what that means is that the old man who's trying in vain to tell people things says, what does the mermaid want? Well, she wants to be creative. She wants to bring new consciousness into reality, to make manifest her new ideas. And then you see why the old man has to be frustrated that what he learned as a kid isn't actually what he wants to teach. It's just dead. He wants the mermaid, the new consciousness. So as I actually introduce new ideas with my mermaid to overcome the fact that I can't reveal the mysteries, I develop into a better teacher, I hope, but also into a better expressive person. And by doing this, I've studied more because I couldn't make myself known and because I wanted to be creative. And that knowledge that I've gained by doing that gives me the power it takes to deliver a new teaching. So that's how I've understood that path of power with the first and the fourth symbols. Now, all of that is already written in the website, even though we haven't really got there yet. That's implied in what I've already taught. But what I had in mind this morning was this, that we can take any of the paths and apply it to any of the planets. So if, for example, I take the path of magic and apply it now, not to my sun, but to my Saturn, and I look at the hello and please, the second, therefore, hello is the second, please is the fifth within the seven-word system. The second and the fifth points of the Elven Star, which would be, in my case, the public market, the first degree of Pisces, and conversation by telepathy, Gemini 14. I would see that the synergy and synchronicity that develops on the path of magic arising out of my Saturn energy would be studied by, in the public market case, being responsible for trading fairly, so whatever I give to people, I get something back, being really conscious of that on the one hand, using telepathy to know whether or not that's happening. I know how subtle this sounds, but it means something to me. I know when I'm doing it. When I'm actually operating, let's say, as a magician, I can feel whether or not the balance between what I'm giving and what I'm receiving and what the other person is giving and receiving is working well, which is the mystery of the second and the fifth points. But the Saturn quality is that usually I'm the one who's got the responsibility to make that so. It's for me to work that out.
So does your idea include assigning any of the planets to any of the paths, or are there specific pairings?
No, you can actually apply any of the 7 paths that the Elven Star shows you to any of the planets or points. Exactly. So you could study everything in the nth degree, to the nth detail, and understand each planet in different ways, 7 different ways, you know, on top of its 7 Elven Star points, the relationship that it has with other people, you know, that you put yourself, you know, when I'm in my Saturn mode, I relate to people differently from when I'm in my Mercury mode or my Venus mode, of course, you know.
So do you need to be an astrologer to do this, or have a rudimentary knowledge of astrology?
Well, rudimentary, yeah. I mean, like, everyone's got a rudimentary knowledge of astrology. You know, the word jovial is what Jupiter's all about. The word Saturnine is what Saturn's all about. You know, it's like mercurial. It's in our moody for the moon. You know, we know what these planets mean more or less without ever having to study them.
Okay.
But you know, most of the people that are interested in this work at this level would be students of astrology to some extent, I would think.
So this is a dimensional shift in terms of application of Elven Star and Sabian Symbols to
It's
world.
more subtle than I've ever considered esoteric work could go. It's another dimension. I mean, knowing that I'm Taurus and not Aries was very helpful for me at some point in my life earlier on. Knowing that I'm the 16th degree of Taurus was wonderful. You know, that's where Sabian Symbols takes us. But then the Elven Star takes us to 7 ways of kind of feeling into that, which is like very expansive. But now we have my ability to relate to someone else or the world at large in 7 different ways with that subtlety of understanding of the energy, and multiply that by 18 for the 18 points that I might like to study in my chart. That there is no way in which I haven't got the tools now to know exactly what I am, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how I'm doing it. And that's the thing. If I want to apply magic, then I need to look at these points, the 2nd and the 5th point, you know, of whichever planet the magic needs to come from. If I need to communicate, it needs to be Mercury. What's my Mercury magic? Or it might be the path of life, you know. So what am I actually doing in an ordinary day-to-day sense? I might need to look at that, you know, and you see how I'm using my Mercury in my normal way of being, you know.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.